Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. And today, we're diving into a principle that could literally change how you see, well, everything. Your work, your happiness, your entire life. It's all about this incredible secret to getting way more done by actually doing less.
So let's just start with this question. I mean, really think about it. Does that hit home? You know that feeling, right? You're swamped, you're putting in the hours, you're just busy. But when you look back, you're not really getting the results you want. Well, you're not crazy. It turns out there's a really good reason for that feeling.
Okay, so let's talk about this myth of balance. See, we're all taught this simple idea from day one, right? Put in the hard work, and you'll get the results. Every hour you grind, every single thing on your to-do list, it's all supposed to add up equally. But does it? The truth is, the world just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, this idea that 50% of your effort gets you 50% of your results, it's a total myth. In reality, the connection between what you put in and what you get out is almost always lopsided, super unbalanced. So that feeling we talked about, being busy but not actually getting anywhere, it's not just you. It's a sign that this powerful, imbalanced force is at work all around us.
So, what's behind this imbalance? Let's dig into it. This takes us back over 100 years to an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto. He was just looking at land ownership in Italy and noticed something weird. He found that a whopping 80% of the land was owned by just a tiny 20% of the people.
And that one observation wasn't just about land. It sparked this huge idea, now called the Pareto Principle. It basically says that for almost anything, a small handful of causes, the 20%, is responsible for the lion's share of the results, the 80%. And this applies to everything: your efforts, your customers, your time, you name it.
This really splits everything into two buckets, doesn't it? You've got the vital few and the trivial many. The vital few, that's your 20%. These are the game changers, the things that actually move the needle. And then you've got the trivial many, the 80%. That's all the other stuff, the busy work that just fills up our days but doesn't really amount to much. The secret, obviously, is figuring out which is which.
And listen, this isn't just some boring business concept. Seriously, once you know about it, you start seeing it everywhere. Think about it. You probably wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. The carpet in your house, 20% of it gets 80% of the foot traffic. It's on our roads, it's what we drink. The world isn't a neat and tidy 50-50. Nope, we're living in an 80-20 world. You know what's funny? This principle basically gives you a scientific excuse for having a messy desk. Seriously, a professor named George Ziff pointed this out. He said we naturally keep the stuff we use all the time close by. So that pile of papers on your desk, maybe it's not chaos, maybe it's just your vital 20%, perfectly organized for maximum efficiency.
Okay, so let's shift gears and look at the business world. Because when companies get a hold of this idea, it's not just a cute little productivity hack, it can be a total game changer, leading to some absolutely massive wins.
So, check this out. Back in the 60s, IBM had this huge breakthrough. They were looking at their computers and realized something amazing. 80% of the computer's time was spent running just 20% of the code. They didn't need to fix everything. They just had to focus on that tiny piece of code that was doing almost all the work. So what did they do? They zeroed in on that vital 20% and made it super fast, super accessible. And the result was incredible. Their machines suddenly became way faster than the competition for what most people were actually doing. They didn't just work harder, they worked smarter, and they completely dominated the market because of it. Here's another quick one. A book publisher was bleeding money on extra printing costs. When they looked into it, they found that out of a whole list of problems, just a couple of things, mostly corrections from the author, were causing almost 80% of the extra expense. And then there's the story of Filofax, the planner company. They were drowning in this massive catalog of products. But when they actually looked at the numbers, they found out that a tiny slice of their product line was bringing in almost all the profit. So what do? They slashed the trivial many, simplified everything, and completely turned their business around.
Okay, stories about IBM and Filofax are cool, but what about us? What does this mean for your life? This right here is where the 80-20 principle goes from interesting to absolutely life-changing. Let's talk about how you can use this to totally revamp your own productivity and even your happiness.
So the guy who wrote the book we're drawing from, Richard Koch, he actually put this to the test when he was a student at Oxford. He figured out pretty quick that trying to know a little bit about everything was a recipe for failure. So here's what he did. He went through old exam papers and spotted a pattern. The same handful of topics kept showing up, accounting for most of the questions.
So he ignored everything else and just went deep on those few key subjects. And the payoff was huge. He got a top-class degree not by studying more, but by being strategic and mastering the vital few.
All right, let's get personal. Forget about work for a second. Let's talk about your happiness. I want you to think, what are your happiness islands? Think about those moments in your life when you felt truly, deeply happy. Who were you with? What were you doing? Pinpoint those moments.
Because I'm willing to bet that a tiny 20% of your life experiences are responsible for 80% of your happiness. So the goal here is to become a kind of gardener for your own life. Your job is to find that vital 20%, the people, the activities, the relationships that bring you the most joy, and pour your energy into them. And at the same time, you've got to start weeding out the trivial many, all the stuff that just drains you.
So as we start to wrap this up, it's really important to get this straight. The 80-20 principle isn't some magic wand, and it's definitely not an excuse to just slack off. It's a mindset shift. It's a way of looking at the world that helps you focus on what really truly matters and gives you the permission to let go of the rest.
Yeah, it's about being effective, not just being efficient. You can be really efficient at doing things that don't matter at all. This is about stopping that cycle. It's about stopping the waste of our precious time and energy on things that give us little in return, so we can finally make room for the good stuff.
And that's really the ultimate promise here, isn't it? We can stop trying to squeeze the things that matter most, our passions, our best relationships, the work we're proud of, into the little margins of our busy lives. This principle gives us a framework to put what's essential right where it belongs, front and center.
So I'll leave you with this final thought, a question to help you pinpoint your own 20%. Ask yourself this: what is the one thing, the one constraint, that if you could just get rid of it would make you 10 times more effective in your work and in your life? Think about it. Is it a task you hate, a relationship that drains you, a fear that's holding you back? Whatever it is, find that one thing, because that is the key to unlocking something truly extraordinary.